Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Bradu. Uh, let's see. We're gonna play Terra Invictus. I've got some news. I actually completely started fresh with a new YouTube channel for this sort of thing for Shadowdark and solo gaming related stuff. My old channel started as an art channel, and then I went to like sports cards for a while. Then I went to like this kind of stuff. So it felt like I needed a fresh start with a new like with a singular identity here. And if I get back to the cards and artwork stuff, I'll go back to the other channel for that stuff. But I've got all the first 50 five six Terra Invictus sessions on that channel. I'm not going to port them over. I might repost some of my other videos that aren't live play sessions just to see how that works, if that reaches a wider audience on a new channel. We'll see. Anyway, so this will probably be my first Terra Invictus on the new channel. So yeah, let's see where we left off. We had a very dangerous dungeon delve last session, but we did survive, make it to the surface. The group is back in the Abbey with the monks of Xochi. And what we really need to do is rest. I think because this is like a friendly place for us, I think and we got rid of the drow invasions that were happening. I'm gonna say that we get to rest up. I think that they're gonna provide safety for us. So we'll do our long rest here, and they'll give us a place to crash. Um, on that note, I am going to we're gonna start fresh. The other thing is that Abbott, haven't been talking about this, but his constitution was still, I think he was a -2, but he is set to level up now, and I think that's a perfect time to just wipe that slate clean as well. Like I think I can't remember if I think I think I was making his constitution come back one session at a time. So we're close to that point, but on a level up, I think that's the perfect time to make that. So Abbott is no longer sick. I made a huge mistake last session in my eagerness to use the sundering rule for shields, which I talked about in my house rules session, and Orgo sundered his shield, and then I realized later it was a magic +1 shield. That said, it was a dangerous situation, and it could have killed him had he become paralyzed and failed the con save on that. So I guess in that sense it was a risk worth taking. But he no longer has a +1 shield, or any shield for that matter. So I think what I'll do is we'll start this session by leveling up Abbott. And well, somebody else is close. It's Thane, I think. But Abbott is set to actually level up. And let's see, he's going up to level 5. He's a barbarian, which of course is my own build. Basically, he's got leather armor. So he'll roll hit points and a talent. And let's do hit points. Actually, yeah, let's do hit points. He is a dwarf. Do dwarves roll advantage hit points, right? I think that's true. I think that's their basic thing. Why do I look up stuff like this? I already know it. Roll hit points at advantage. So D8. Let's do it. 5. Okay, not horrible. 37. So he'll go up to 42 for his max. I can't remember if I think that's correct. Because it came down at some point too. His con is back to a 14. Oh God. cheating. Is that right? 14, 14. I'm going to double check that afterwards. That does seem kind of high. I think it's a 12. I think it was actually supposed to be a 12. I have to double check that. I'll have to go back and see what I actually rolled to begin with. Because he had all that massive con loss that started with him losing 2 con points. So I can't remember right now if I had taken that off his sheet. I feel like he was 14, 14. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to roll his talent, which is 2d6. And I made my own talent chart. 8. Boring. +2 to strength or con. Well, his strength's already an 18. So that means we're going to choose con. That's fine. That's great, actually. So his con is going to go up anyway. I'm still going to need to check that. But his con for sure goes up, which means his AC goes up. Because he's got 2, 4, 5. Is that right? What's the 11 plus dex plus con is 15? That's not adding up. I'm still 1 off. So I think he does. I think he's a 16 con now. I think that's where that number is coming from. Sorry. This is not a great way to start my first session on a new channel, is it? So Abbott's leveled up. We're level 5. Orgo will be next. Or not Orgo. Thane will be next, his buddy. I have a bunch of notes of things I want to do. I think the first thing we're going to do, so we're just going to have a nice friendly greeting with the monks. I'm just kind of assume they're going about their business and that there hasn't been any more problems with the drow, because that hole was sealed up. They were coming up the well, and we took care of that. So let's do some hex. Well, we don't even need a hex crawl. We need to go 1 hex, I believe. So we're going from. We don't even need to do anything, right? We're right here. I can't see what I'm looking at, and we're going 1 over to Makuza. Because we need a town. We need to gear up. So in Makuza, we certainly can get a... Here we go. Get a shield. There's going to be... Let's see what kind of stuff they have here. It probably doesn't say. Yeah, it doesn't say... ground transport... vegetable cart. That's not great, because I was thinking I'm thinking that I want to get horses for our group to travel with. But if their ground transport is by vegetable cart, this does not appear to be a good place to buy horses. I also have a problem with my treasure and having lost track, so I have kind of an idea what I'm going to do about that. But I am going to say that I pick up a shield for Orgo. So his shield is no longer a magic +1 shield. So his AC is going to drop by 1. And hopefully we'll find another shield at some point that's magic for him. But for now, 19 is still amazing because he's got plate mail and a shield. So, where are we going now? Was there anything else I wanted to do in a town? There is. I want to find somebody. This is something I thought would have come up by now in adventuring, and it just hasn't come up. So I'm going to look in Makuza, which is not a huge town, and see if I can... We'll spend a day here. And I'm going to spend the day... We'll do 1 rumor. And we probably have already kind of got most of the rumors. I missed this opportunity. Octopus is a common food on the coast and sells for a nice price. I should have thought of that, because we did have battle with an octopus several sessions back. And they're not gonna. That rumor probably is to set up that encounter, and we could have taken from that. But since it's way too long ago for us to do anything about that now, but I will remember that in the future, and we'll just have to wing it with the as far as what the price is. But that's cool. That would have been cool. Wish I would have thought of that when I did it. Can we find any sort of magic items of value in Makuza? I'm gonna make that a. I think the best thing that makes sense for stuff like that is Nura is my sweet talker. She's my high charisma, so she would be the one to kind of go around chit chatting with people and trying to, on the down low, get some information. So I'm gonna make that a charisma check for her. So it's almost like if she fails her check, it means that person either doesn't exist or lays low enough that we're not going to find out about him. And if she rolls high enough, that person does exist. So, does Nura find someone to trade magic items? Because we have a couple good ones that we kind of can't really make use of at this point. So I'm going to make it a difficult charisma check. Does that make sense? 15? No, it would be an 18. So she has to roll a 15. But it's doable. So, okay, she has to roll a 15. She's got a +3. Whoa! Nat 20. Okay. That means we got jackpot here. We have several good items that I think I want to trade. Looking at the wrong sheet. We have. We don't have a wizard in the group, so I have 2 wizard items that I basically can't use. And actually, one of them might not be a wizard item. I'm a little tempted to hang on to that. And a chainmail, which I just don't love because it's +2 chainmail, but it has disadvantage to dex saves. Who the hell wants that? So I've only got 1 chainmail wearer in the group, and she's already got a magic chainmail that I like better, even though the bonus is a little lower. So we have a chainmail to trade. I need to figure out who this is. I know who it is. I know exactly who it is. This is going to be. It doesn't mean I have a mini for it. I was looking to see if I have something close. Okay, I do actually. I have one, so I'll use this. So we find that we'll just kind of. This is not a super known. I'm gonna say this is kind of a hermit-y. No, it's not a hermit. Never mind. Nura's asking around and doesn't have any luck. And in the notion of her asking around, information gets to the person who is. This is a character I created for games when I DM, and I think it's perfect for this. It absolutely is. But I'm going to use a slight tweak on it. This is going to be. Cool. This is a mini I painted. Gandalf the Grey. He's going to be an elf. And he's like a magical, mystical, mystery trader, magic item trader. So everything kind of goes like we're in this part of town where there's like nobody really wandering around, and all of a sudden this guy pops up and like he takes something out of his pack, and this little. You ever watch those Charlie Brown things? There's like a kissing booth or something like that. It's like that. Like all of a sudden, or a lemonade stand. This stand just pops up magically around him. It's like Gandalf's magical, mysterious trading booth or something along those lines. And there he is. So this is like a wandering, you can find him anywhere, and I was waiting for it to pop up on a random encounter chart that, there was a weird merchant or something mysterious or something like that, and it hasn't happened. But hey, we're looking for something. I rolled a nat 20, so there we go. So, Gandalf. Oh, this is amazing. Just our luck, huh? We've got some great magic treasures that you may be interested in. He explains to us that he's open to trading. And the way I do this, at least so, the way I did this with 5e, magic items there had like a value, like a gold piece value. Doesn't really, I don't know if there's the same thing in Shadowdark, but it doesn't matter because the way I did it was you couldn't buy and sell items. You could only trade for equal-ish value items, because I know especially in 5e there was this big thing about the balance of not having too many magic items. So in that sense, I didn't want you to just be able to buy a bunch of magic items. I wanted you to have to have found a magic item, and then if you can't use it, you have these options to trade for something maybe more useful but similar value or usefulness. So that's what I'm going to go with. So uh, we have a +2 chainmail armor. I think the question is going to be, does he have any weapons he would be willing to trade? And I think it's a definite yes. He would at least have something. He wouldn't have like this, like his whatever, his inventory would be a rotation of random crap, right? Random stuff. So I'm going to say he doesn't have a, oh man. Here we go. Let's just go to the back of the book and see what happens here. There's weapons. We're going to go with standard weapons for now. I'm going to say he for sure has one. Let's see what it is. Let's see if it's something we can use. D20 is going to be 15. A mace. Not my favorite. It's not my favorite at all. That's not great. Mace is a 1d6. That's not really something I would need to use, I don't think. I've got... Thane uses a Morning Star. He could switch that to a mace, but it would downgrade his base. So on that note, I think the question is going to be, does he have more than one weapon? And I think it's likely. So I'm going to say, we're not going to go likely. We're going to go 50-50. So high is a yes. Yes, he does. So he has, let's go D4 weapons. 4. All right. And I will count the mace in that. That only makes sense. So there's a mace, which we probably don't want. A great axe. Yes. So there's our winner right there. Great axe. I'll roll out the others because we'll see. A dagger. And a bastard sword. What is that? I don't really have a sword wielder. Well, Nura, I guess. Versatile 2 slots. It's a sweet one. So we definitely want the great axe. So let's find out what this great axe is. Bonus. Can I roll it straight like that? Let's roll it like that. But I don't want a bonus +0. That's lame. So if it comes up 2 or 3, I'm going to count it as a +1. I think that's reasonable. 8 is a +1. Great. Fine. Great axe +1. That's beautiful. And does it have a benefit or a curse? I don't want a curse. Come on. I hate curses. That's one of the things I don't love about Shadowdark, is when you get to this sort of thing that, here we go, benefit, curse, and personality. It gets more confusing when all these items, there's hardly any standard, like just a +1. I'd be fine with just a +1 great axe. And that doesn't happen. It has to have a benefit or a curse, right? So that doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm going to just ask, does it have a benefit or a curse? Yes. So I will roll on that table. 6. A benefit and a curse. Damn it. That's all right. And now we go D12. 6. All right. Shoot a bolt of energy near with Dex. 1d6 damage. What does with Dex mean? That's your attack? You'd use your Dex instead? Okay. I mean, it's cool. And 9. Ooh. You are burned by the touch of gold. Okay, I'm okay with that because it's more thematic than anything. So it's a great axe +1. Shoot a bolt of energy. Okay. I gotta figure out how that would work. Gold burns me. Okay, a fair trade, I believe, would be the armor. The +2 chainmail I have. We will just swap that for the great axe, and that is going to go to Abbott. Awesome. And then do I want to do one more? Yeah, I want to do one more because we're probably not going to find this guy again in a while. I'm tempted to hang on to I have the Ring of Blazing Inferno. And I don't know if that's a wizard only item. I guess it probably wouldn't necessarily be. So maybe I should hang on to that. But I also have a wand, and it's not a particularly exciting wand. So I'm just going to say, okay, what other items does he have? And I'm not interested in potions or scrolls. Well, actually, I would be interested in scrolls, but not for a magic item like that, not for a permanent magic item. So I'm going to just roll up. Here's what I'm going to do. How many items does he have? We'll do a D4. Non-weapon items. So if I roll a weapon, because I already did weapon, I should have done that. I should have done this that way. I should have started out with how many weapons does he have and then roll each of them completely randomly. He has 4. Okay, great. So I'm not necessarily going to roll them all. I'm just going to see if I can find something I like to trade for. So the first one would be a potion. So I don't want that. Should that count against my 4? Weapon, I said I would re-roll, right? Or maybe we should check another weapon. No, I did. I checked 4 weapons. I might look into that. Wasn't there one more that I thought I could use? Dagger. Maybe it was a dagger. Oh yeah, dagger. I have Marvin. 5 is a wand. I don't really want that because I don't have I'm trading a wand. I don't have a wizard. So what am I even looking for? Armor or utility? Why am I rolling then? That's another potion. So that was 4 rolls. So I'm going to see what the dagger is. So I'm going to do this same thing. Does the dagger have any benefit, curse, or is it just a standard dagger with a bonus? It does not have any extra thing. So it is a dagger. And let's see what the bonus is. It's going to be +1 again. A dagger +1. Does that do him any good? Yeah, it does. You know what? It does. Because he doesn't have a magic weapon right now. So I think a wand of knock is a fair trade for a dagger +1. Probably in the not in our favor, but that's fine. We've had a hard time finding magic weapons. We got a couple silver weapons. You really want every character in the party to, at this, we're level 5 mostly now, to be able to wound those creatures that are hard to hit, that are resistant to non-magic weapons. So we're going to take that. So we got a dagger +1 for Marvin, and we are trading the Wand of Knock. Okay, cool. So on the only other thing on that note, yeah, I don't have any casters anyway. So scrolls, I do want scrolls to be more prevalent in my game. We've found like one scroll or so in the entire game. That's a discussion for another time. But we're good. I'm not going to worry about the potions he has. Gandalf, it was great meeting you, and hopefully we will see you again next time we get a useless magic item. Where can we find you? I can be anywhere, anyhow. You never know where I will pop up next. But I assure you, I will see you again if you live that long. So, yeah, that's good. Not a high action session with no combat or whatever, but we got a level up in there with Abbott, and we met Gandalf. The blue, I guess. That doesn't make sense. Gandalf, the magical mystery trader. I can't even remember what I. The other one I have is Dumbledore. That's who I used before. But I always had in my head it could be Gandalf or Dumbledore. All right, so hope that was fun for you guys, and feel free to steal that character, because I do think it's kind of a cool idea that like this magic trader can just pop up, and it, Gandalf or Dumbledore are both kind of fun names for it, and that idea that they don't sell, you have to trade stuff that you don't like. Shadowdark has a merchant that's like that, and I've never run into him. Let me see if I can find him. And I always thought if I do run into him, I am just using that. I'm going to call him what I just did. Gandalf. No, I don't see him, but he's in there. All right, thanks for watching, you guys. I'm Bradu, playing Terra Invictus, and next time, I know what I'm going to do next time. Next time we'll do some hex crawling. We will wander a little bit to the south, and I have a fun adventure. I'm going to go on to do like a nice I'll tell you next time. All right, bye.